Hi, I'm Mark Ryan, and I'm proud to serve as the Scout Executive of the Lake Erie Council. Thank you for taking the time to watch this important 3-minute update. While every day we provide opportunities for young people to have fun, develop social skills, build confidence, and learn important life skills, our greatest duty is creating the most secure environment possible for our youth members. As part of the Boy Scouts of America's ongoing commitment to abuse prevention, we continuously review our youth protection policies and update requirements as needed. Recently, I sent a message indicating changes and clarifications to our current youth protection policies. And in the following video, the changes have been outlined in detail. It provides guidance on how you and your volunteer team can help adapt to the update. It's vital that we remember that this is all about keeping our youth safe. Scouting represents the most impactful youth-serving movement the world has ever seen, and that legacy lives on today through dedicated volunteers and professionals who put the safety and security of our Scouts above all else. Help us lead the way into a safer future by providing enough registered, background-checked adults to facilitate the promises of Scouting's outdoor adventures. Reach out to our offices with any questions or needs, and we'll do our best to provide answers and guidance.
Morning all. Thanks for tuning in to this special announcement from the Lake Erie Council. Today I'm here with our Director of Field Services, Mike Ivano. And now you may be thinking, man, that guy's got a big title. They must be talking about something important. And if that's on your mind, well then you're one smart cookie, because in fact, today we're talking about what I'm sure is your favorite topic. Policy changes to the Guide to Safe Scouting.
Super exciting.
Oh man, I know folks, I know. You need to curb your enthusiasm a little bit, settle down now, because these are important changes and they will affect the way we deliver scouting very soon. So get comfy, grab a notepad and some popcorn, because we're here to help you understand everything you need to know about the changes coming up to the Guide to Safe Scouting.
Thanks for the intro, Jake. Before I dive into the details of the changes, I just want to highlight something very important. Since the inception of Scouting, chartered organizations have been the bedrock of the movement, and this continues to be true today. Chartered organizations partner with local Scout councils to deliver the Scouting program in alignment with their mission. The chartered organization provides meeting space for Scouting and is the owner-operator of Scouting in their space. Chartered organizations are responsible for who serves as a leader in their unit. They agree to operate Scouting in alignment with the most up-to-date rules and regulations of Scouting, and council administration, through both staff and volunteers, ensures they have access to Scouting resources and provides liability insurance to these organizations. The changes we're talking about today directly impact chartered organizations as much as they do assistant den leaders, because chartered organizations are the ones delivering Scouting to the community.
That's a great point, Mike. It's so true. And this update, which takes effect on September 1st, will take important steps in making our programs even safer for our members, while also providing more comprehensive insurance coverages to our leadership and partnering organizations. Our objectives today are to review these important updates, share with you the reasoning behind them, and how these changes will impact you and your Scouting family. So let's take a look at what is changing. All adults staying overnight in connection with a Scouting activity must be currently registered in an adult fee required position as listed or as an adult program participant. Cub Scout programs have an overnight exception in that Cub Scout parents or legal guardians taking part in an overnight Cub Scout program with their own child or legal ward are not required to register as leaders. All other overnight adults must be currently registered in an adult fee required position.
These updates take effect September 1st, 2023. You can find the complete verbiage on scouting.org. Let's break that down a little bit and cover some of the reasons why we're making these changes.
Well, first, this update requires all adults staying overnight on outings to be registered with the unit they're camping in. Registering with your unit provides your chartering organization the opportunity to vet you and approve your presence as a leader over the Scouts in your troop. Also, as a registered leader, you'll have access to training and resources that you wouldn't have had without registering. Registering with your unit requires paying the BSA adult registration fee, and this fee offsets the costs of the background check for leaders, along with funding the general liability insurance for you, the leader, and your chartering organization. Qualified roles include assistant unit leader, committee member, and most specifically, unit scout or reserve. Now, this is a fascinating position. Mike, can you tell us a little more about it?
Happy to, Jake. A unit scout or reserve is someone who's required to submit an adult application and take youth protection training, but has no other detailed responsibilities to the unit's committee. In short, unit scout or reserve is a great position for folks who want to go camping with you, but can't commit to providing additional leadership to the unit.
Mike, I tell you what, that sounds like my kind of position. So this rule requires all adults to register with their unit in a fee-paid position. Now, merit badge counselors are not required to pay registration fees. Mike, can they stay overnight at an outing?
No, they can't. At least not without being registered in another position within a unit. Merit badge counselors may work with only one unit, but those who are only registered as counselors haven't been vetted by a chartered organization or paid BSA registration fees. Therefore, they can't attend overnights.
Got it, Mike. Now that makes sense. Now, that cutaway before said that there was an exception to this registration rule for Cub Scouts. What does that mean?
Right. So it means basically what it says, Jake. Parents or legal guardians of Cub Scouts are allowed to stay overnight with their kids regardless of registration status. However, if they aren't registered, they can't provide any additional leadership to the pack. Actually, their only responsibility can be for their own child or children. Webelos and Arrow of Light parents do qualify under this exception because Webelos and Arrow of Light dens are Cub Scout dens. Also, it's important to emphasize this. A Cub Scout adult partner who is not a parent or legal guardian must register with the pack to go camping with the Cub Scout.
Gotcha. So it sounds like the goal of this change is to ensure that a charter organization has the opportunity to vet all of the adults going camping with Scouts. Is that right?
It absolutely is, Jake. As Lake Erie Council and the BSA continue to help to empower unit ownership among chartered organizations, their responsibility in selecting leadership cannot be understated. It should also be noted that it's expected under the Too Deep leadership rules that those two adults be registered to the same unit. Since chartered organizations hold the responsibility to select and review leadership, leaders from multiple organizations cannot mix and match to fulfill the requirement.
Mike, that's a great point, and that's a big point to make. Now, we get a lot of questions about multiple units camping together, and I have a few scenarios in mind. Are you okay if we dive into a few of those?
Gladly, Jake. What's your first one?
Okay, so let's say there's an Arrow of Light den and troop, and they have the same chartering organization. And they want to go camping overnight together and give those Arrow of Light Scouts a chance to see if they like this troop. Mike, can this happen?
Absolutely. It has to happen, right? But the Too Deep leadership provided by the troop is not enough for the campout to happen. 2 registered adults from the pack must be present in addition to 2 leaders from the troop. Remember, Too Deep leadership is provided by the unit under this change. So moving forward, the pack and the troop must have separate, standalone leadership for this campout to happen.
That is pretty big change from what we've done in the past. Okay, so here's another question I have. What happens if a boy troop and a girl troop, again, same charter organization, go on a joint camp out together? What about the leadership there? What has to happen?
Yeah, same thing, Jake. 2 leaders from each unit are required to fulfill the Too Deep leadership because there are 2 units camping.
Okay. Now, Mike, I know what scouting is like out there, and sometimes 2 leaders from the same unit are just not available for the camp out. Now, hypothetically, let's say there are 2 girl troops who want to go camping together, but there are only 3 adults available, 1 from the one troop, 2 from the other. What happens?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jake. And it's true. We don't want to create barriers to camping, only barriers to abuse. In your scenario, 3 leaders from 2 girl troops presents a bit of a pickle. This is how to overcome that challenge. The single leader from the 1 girl troop should multiple register with the other. By doing this, the single leader is vetted by the COR, and if approved, there are now 3 leaders from 1 troop going camping, fulfilling the leadership necessities. The 2 girl troop youth members then just kind of operate as a patrol.
Oh, that makes sense. I'm starting to understand this. Okay. So, of course, multiple registering in another unit, that doesn't require more money. It's a pretty swinging deal. Okay, now how about 2 troops from different chartered organizations? In this hypothetical, both troops have at least 2 registered adults in each troop. How can those different chartered organizations approve this campout?
Another great question, Jake. In this scenario, the 2 units must submit a multi-unit coordinated camping form. Now, this form is available on the council website, and both chartered organizations will have the chance to approve or deny the outing in its entirety.
All right, now, Mike, I've got to tell you, my head is starting to spin because of all these different answers to so many different scenarios, and these are just a few of them, mind you. It is a lot to take in. What is the very next thing unit leaders need to do?
Well, there's just a few steps, and the first step would be to review your unit committee and sit down and look at a list of adults, identifying those parents or other adults who frequently help with overnights but are not registered as part of your annual charter. Frankly, these folks would be great prospects to fill a number of the necessary roles in any pack or troop, like committee member, assistant cub master, or even scoutmaster. And if those roles sound like too much responsibility, remember that adults can still register as a unit scout or reserve to be able to camp with the unit. All adults registering must then have their application and fees turned in to the Council Service Center and have their background check completed before they should be considered approved to participate.
Got it. Okay. Well, thank you, Mike. This is great stuff. Now, how will this policy be implemented at the council level? What will be expected from our units as they plan outings?
Well, Jake, as we've already stated, the immediate expectation is that every Lake Erie Council unit review their rosters and take the appropriate steps to register enough adults so they can plan overnights confidently. We don't want any unit's camping program to be negatively impacted, so getting started on this process now is important. After that, we expect units to adhere to the policy for their unit-organized weekend campouts. Chartered organization representatives need to check in periodically, as adherence to this expectation is just as much about their safety and security as it is about yours.
Mike, this is fantastic, and thank you for your time today. These clarifications, they're very helpful, and I want to remind everyone out there, this is all about keeping our young people safe. Our youth protection training has a stark but very real point brought up in the modules, and that's that predators will find loopholes in safety policies that are weakly enforced and seldom changed. So it's with that in mind then, I'm proud to be a part of helping make these necessary changes and to be a resource for everyone watching out there. In fact, Mike, you got a whole team of folks dedicated to helping provide clarification. Isn't that right?
Yeah, Jake, it's as if you're part of that team. But seriously, we know this is a lot to navigate. If you need help understanding this or find yourself with more questions after watching, we are here to help. Contact Member Care with your concerns and we will all be there to assist you. As we've said from the beginning of youth protection, it begins with you. Help us lead the way into a safer future by providing enough registered, background check adults to facilitate the promise of scouting's outdoor adventure. Jake, you have anything else?
Mike, I just want to say to the good scouters of this council and beyond, thanks for all you do, and thanks for being you. And we'll see you next time. Take care.